Good morning, wildlings. Welcome to 2025. I am going to tell you that this year feels completely magic for this human being. Everybody else may have different opinions of this year and what we're about to face and go through, but I'm actually feeling incredibly positive because of the work that I've done for the past decade. And I have actually set myself up to succeed through what we're going to go through next. And I want to start to share some of the things that I do when I know what is coming is not going to be great. And that can be all sorts of things like, will this week be overwhelming because it's back to school and my kid is so desperate to go back to school, but that brings up a lot of stuff for us. So how can I prepare my family for that? I need to do a huge grocery shop this week. So how can I prepare myself to be successful at that? We're going to talk a lot today about creating systems based on what you have been tracking since you came into the shedding. And if you're not in the shedding yet, or you're just like, oh, hey, I just showed up, don't worry, you will get caught back up. You just have to go up to the tab up here that says course content in the shedding community and start going down the content. It is up to you how fast you move. I am not here to be whipping a whip at your heels and making you do the work. This is all about learning to be accountable to yourself, learning to be responsible to yourself, learning how to trust yourself and know that you do actually have all the answers. Because through the work that we're doing here together, and I'll tell you, I hopped on here today because this is my first day really kind of back at it. My brain does not function very well when there are other people in the house with me, and it gets incredibly overwhelming. So I have to use the first day that everybody goes back to reset my systems. And you can see that as like resetting my hard drive. You can see that as regulating my nervous system. You can see it as something we call grounding. Every single Monday is my reset. And I have been doing this for probably, well, ever since Henry existed. So he's 14 this year. So for the past 14 years, I have been using Mondays as my way to reset everything. And that is how I started and stumbled across what I'm going to teach you and what you're going to learn through my experiences. Now, one of the things that I want you to be very compassionate with yourself or very kind of aware of is you do actually have all the answers. And also, you know nothing. So we're going to get more into what that exactly means later, because it sounds very spiritually kind of like guru on a mountain. You know nothing, you know everything. It's all in your body. And through shedding, we're going to shed all of those beliefs, all of those systems, all of that ick that is stuck in our bodies that makes us go, I can't accomplish what I want to accomplish in the world. And that is what you're shedding while you're in this community. It's the things that keep us stuck where we're at. It is the beliefs and the mindset that keeps us stuck in this victim, in this kind of, I'm being challenged. Why is my life this miserable? All of those things that we believe or think, especially around this time of year, we put so much pressure on ourselves to start anew, start fresh, and completely clean our slates and go, new year, new me. That is a way to burn yourself out, because if you're restarting everything over anew every single year, what are you actually learning? What are you actually accomplishing if you look at it and go, yeah, no, that didn't work, let's do something completely different? So what I started to do every January, and I still do, and I'm going to walk you through the process, is just sitting and being with what last year was and what I experienced through last year. So this is the time that I actually pull out my journal from last year. So the one that I put all my thoughts, and my journal is not like, oh, today my soul felt twisted. No, this is like practical, like, Emma this week had to do, I created amazing meals, I did some laundry, I did some running around. Henry was moving his arm, he went to cadets and he did his homework, and that was November of last year. So I'm looking at like, what did we actually do? Because I will tell you, I only have 12% working memory, so I have to constantly refer back to this. So that is one of the things that I will tell you. Planners aren't for everybody, in the sense of they're not going to work the way you think they're going to work. So I use planners in a different way. I'm not using this to go, okay, what is the perfect week going to look like? And what can I accomplish this week? No, it's not about productivity. This is actually just about reminding myself what I have overcome and what cycles do I keep repeating. So when I sit down in January, I can actually go, look, oh my God. Every 3 weeks, I go through this cycle. Oh, look, again. One of the things that I'm doing this year, that is going to be kind of a change. Look, I changed the size. I'm not sure if I'm going to be happy about the smaller size, because I do need a lot of place to write, but I've already got some of my stickers going on it. And this one, it's the same company of planner, and they actually do from, what do they do it from? They do August to December. So August of 2024 to December. I know it's a weird thing, but I like the crossover, because in August, I start using both. And this one kind of becomes the one that shows me the pattern, the repeating pattern, because I'm starting to pick up the pattern in here. Now, how do we track all this, you say? Emma didn't print out her big tracker, but this is what is going to change for me this year. I'm actually printing out the monthly trackers, and I'm going into my day planner. And where are we? We're in January. So I'm going to go January, and I'm going to put my daily tracker actually on the month of January. And I've already got a note in there that says, start the year slowly. So what are we on? We're on January. Oh, it's January 6th today. So today I'm going to start to put these trackers in each month. So now I've got my tracker printed off, and I can go to that tab for January every single day, and I can put in what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, with a color code. So this is the part that I really love. This is the part where I get a little fancy. I make it fun. You have to make it interesting. If you're a person that loves coloring, get yourself some fun markers and add color. If you like to have lots of notes, then make sure that you have a planner that has space for lots of notes, or have an traditional planner where you put the extra notes. So what happens is every single day, I will track several things. Now, what are those things? And it changes for me. It changes a lot, actually. But right now, I want to do some shadow work. And I will be giving this is my beta planner. I've got a whole bunch of designs in here. This is my beta planner that I designed a long time ago and never got out. And this is what I want to do a better job of this year, is actually showing you what I create, finishing what I create, and then putting it out in the world, because having something like this sitting on my desk isn't helping anybody. So I have to come out with a visual way, a fun way to get myself motivated. And I'm actually going to start tracking my work days and my non-work days, because I want to see, is there a connection between my cognitive abilities and the days that I actually want to work? And then, is there a way that I can support that with functional medicine, with my diet, with exercise? How can I support that? But we first have to see the pattern. We first have to track it. So, things that I like to track, things that I notice a lot in my own world. Hey, Kelsey, thanks for joining. I notice when I sleep badly, when I eat badly, when I'm not taking in enough liquids, and then when I'm not exercising. Those are the main things that affect me. And then stressors or triggers outside of my environment that I have no control over. And we also have to acknowledge what we have control over and what we don't. Because when we start to realize that, hey, wait a second, I have control over my diet, I have control over my sleep, I have control over my intake of water, and I actually have control over when I exercise and when I don't exercise. And I start to see how that affects me because I'm actually paying attention. And then when you start to see, oh yeah, wait a second, when I drink a lot more water, all of this wrinkly stuff starts to go away because I'm not dehydrated. I can always tell when I'm dehydrated because my fingertips start to get wrinkly, like that wrinkly looking, but the opposite. So it's like you can tell that the moisture has been sucked out of your body because your fingertips are wrinkly. My one finger is a little bit wrinkly this morning. So I know I have to increase my water intake. And I will tell you, for me, my mood is directly correlated to how much water I drink. Do you know how I know that? Because I track it. This is how you start to use these things to actually benefit yourself. Oh, you just finished yoga. Why you gotta call me out like that? Exactly. So I did a really silly thing and I put way too much wood in my stove this morning and it's 26 degrees upstairs. So I've dehydrated my house myself. So I have to be super conscious. Yeah, not you going to chug some water right now. I know. And this is the thing. I make sure that I have large drinking vessels. And I will tell you, mason jars are amazing because they don't spill as easily as a regular cup. The little tiny bottoms drive me crazy. I don't spill it as much. You can actually get sippy cup lids for these. I take them outside. I put hot liquids in them. But the great thing is there are measurements. So it's kind of like this visual reminder, like, oh, that was at 400 milliliters a while ago. So I got to start drinking. And it's not about guilting myself. It's about setting myself up for success. Yes, Kelsey says when she's good, she fills up her water bottle at night with yummy electrolytes to leave it out for the morning. That's a perfect idea. Even putting this on the counter with a package of electrolytes or with the container of electrolytes for the morning, laying it out like you're a toddler. And I will tell you, when you start to treat yourself the way you have treated your toddlers in your life, and you set yourself up for success like you do your toddler by laying out their clothes or helping them put their brush back in the same place every single day, when we start to use these things for ourselves, life gets really easy. It is easy for toddlers because things are set up. We set them up to succeed. So why are you not setting yourself up to succeed? There's lots of little things you can do, like Kelsey and I said with our water. So one of the other things that I really want you to start considering is your blood sugar. This is incredibly important when it comes to managing our energy, especially as divergent people. So if you are a faster and you don't eat in the morning, just ignore me. But if you do eat in the morning, if you do start your day with a nourishing meal, make sure that it is not high in carbs and it is not high in sugars. And the way to combat those things is adding fiber to your diet to balance that out. If you do like sugary treats in the morning, make sure that you're having something that is super fibrous with that to absorb all of the glucose. Because I will tell you, your body doesn't know what to do with that much sugar. Yes, a protein shake is an amazing idea. And that's what I tend to do every single morning. I haven't done that yet this morning. So thank you for the reminder, Kelsey. And that's why we need to show up in this community so we can help each other. And yes, especially since if you don't have any appetite in the morning, here's the other thing, Kelsey. What is your body trying to tell you if you don't have an appetite in the morning? Maybe we're not actually hungry. Maybe we don't actually need as much as we think we do. One of the biggest mistakes that I was always, that's GERD is a huge part of it. Pregnancy, Kelsey, how have you been hiding that? Or was that not okay? You can't say that. Because I was like, what? But yes, pregnancy. Oh, since you were pregnant, you have had terrible heartburn. Yes, because your digestive system changed when you had a child. That is something that I have noticed. It's when we go through these big hormonal shifts, our entire digestive system will change. And we have to learn, especially as we're getting older. I know once I hit 35, 40, my digestive system completely slowed down. And I know if you have your gallbladder removed or if you have your appendix removed, that will immediately slow down your system, as well as being pregnant. They do think it has something to do with hormones. So allow yourself to listen to your body. You get GERD in the morning, so you do have to consume something to make your belly happy. And that is all about using those dense nutrients in the morning. And that's why a smoothie is the perfect way. You can add fiber and protein by adding flax to it. You can put hemp hearts in it. You can, yes, protein shakes with some nut milk is just enough to take the edge off. And you can jam pack those with all sorts of things. Like you could put in functional mushrooms. I posted something this morning about how I first kind of got into this flow. And it was truly by starting to introduce mushrooms into my life. And if you're not anywhere near the mystical magic world of mushrooms yet, you may never get to that place, because sometimes this medicine just isn't for you. I have lots of friends that have tried functional mushrooms and just don't see any benefit from it, but it's because their bodies are already happy. So I'm going to be talking a lot more about functional mushrooms and how they have helped me and how they have helped my brain, because when we connect to the larger thing that created this universe, mushrooms were some of the first, oh my God, my brain. This is not my good brain week. They were the first, I don't want to, ecosystem is not the right word. My brain is just not working. So we're not going to do that. Realistic risk of using turkey tail dried and powdered versus commercially grown. It feels weird to buy mushrooms when they are everywhere. You know what? Turkey, it's about the quality of it. So this is the piece is, yes, you can totally go out and get your own turkey tail. A couple of things to remember: do not pick it near any environment that is remediation. And yes, food safety. This is the other piece is I will consume the mushrooms that I pick for myself because I know where they come from and I can actually see what that mushroom is consuming. The problem with mushrooms and foraging and using mushrooms from somebody else who is not a company that goes to goes through standardization. It is one of the reasons why I'm starting to promote companies is because not all mushrooms are grown equally. And yes, the food safety piece of it. I can go and pick mushrooms out of my backyard. Yeah, exactly. I have so much turkey tail. I don't use anybody else's powdered turkey tail, but I will use turkey tail if it's in a tincture that I can just zap into my coffee really quickly and I don't have to use it. But for most people that don't have a space or don't know how to forage or are just really nervous about it, using a tincture to add to your protein shake or to your coffee is a really easy way to do it. And also, here's the other thing. If you are pregnant or if you do have allergies, if you have any physical stuff in your body where your body goes, ew, all the time, getting it from a source that is under regulation is really, really important because any person can be out there forge. Like I can say, hey, I made this turkey tail tincture, but do you know if it was collected from a roadside source or do you know if it was collected from a source that is truly organic, truly wild? That is where I have all the concerns. And it's why I'm not creating tinctures. It's why I'm not going into producing mushrooms, because the property here in Puslinch doesn't necessarily have the greatest soils. And it is doing a lot of remediation. Mushrooms are the world's kind of filter. They filter things out and then create these fruiting bodies. So you want to make sure that the mushrooms that you're consuming aren't filtering out toxins. We have a really Okay, there we go. You have a plan. Yeah, exactly. You might try the tincture and try wild that I can pay attention to the reactions. There you go. And this is the piece. You have to really become a student of your body because when I first take something new, and especially with mushrooms, when you first take something new, it can be pretty hard on your stomach. And if you take mushrooms on an empty stomach, it will upset your stomach. So a lot of people try mushrooms and then go, oh no, it made me kind of sick, man. And I'm like, yes, because you probably took a little bit too much. Or you probably took it with something else that didn't necessarily like the mushrooms and it upset your stomach. Mushrooms are going to upset your stomach if you're taking too much. You have to start low and slowly increase the dose, no matter what kind of mushroom you're taking. Whether you're using a reishi powder, whether you're using a functional mushroom, you have to start out at the lowest dose possible and then go up. Even I made the mistake, actually. I took like a ton of this the first day and then went, oh, Emma, I know what you did. I know why your stomach's upset. So learning how to use all of this stuff is a slow approach. This is not about going fast. And it's why we're going to start very, very slow by tracking our cycles, by seeing what happens when we exercise. So I'm going to put in here, because that's one of the things that I really struggle with when people are at home. I struggle to exercise with people in the house. I'm very distracted. So I'm putting back into action my exercising again, because I know that that helps me. Oh my God, this is very bad spelling. That was bad. I may have to write over that one. Okay. So consuming I'm going to just put water because that is very important to me. I know that. And then we're going to go, and I always put BLD, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So sometimes it's actually better for me not to eat breakfast. And sometimes it's way better for me to eat breakfast. The week of my cycle, which is no longer a period cycle, it's just an energetic cycle for me, I actually need to eat a lot. So I have 1 week out of the month where I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I probably eat a mid-morning snack and an afternoon snack. And if I don't consume that much food during that week, my whole month is thrown off. So I have to go back to tracking that because I have noticed some changes in my eating patterns, and I'm eating a lot less than I used to. And I want to look at how my body is making its own choices. So I'm going to start tracking that again. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about when it comes to monitoring your food and tracking your diet, if you have any tendencies towards bulimia or anorexia or any sort of dietary issue, sit with it for a little bit and say, does it feel good to track my food intake? And your body may say no, and that is a-okay. That is a decision that you have to make for yourself. And I want you to think about that with everything that I suggest, even with the functional mushrooms. Ask your body. Just sit there and go, does that feel like something I should be taking? And your body will immediately give you a reaction, whether it's a gurgle in your belly, whether it's like a quiver, like a tickle on your face. Your body reacts somehow. It's about tuning into those reactions. It's about listening to your body and slowing down and going, is this something I need to continue? For me right now, in my body, I get and it's like, okay, so maybe that's not it. And I'm into functional mushrooms, but my body right now doesn't need it because my brain is on point. I don't need more brain power right now. So I'm not going to take that one. I don't need more energy right now because I don't need that right now. It's okay. I'm telling you, this is what got me started, but my body literally went, no, don't think it's helping that much right now. Fine. Okay. On to the next thing. Let's not question that. Let's not like go, oh my God, why does my body? No, none of it matters. What helps you? What helps you? Oh, thanks, Kelsey. Kelsey says, I appreciate that you address the nuance. This is the piece. Nothing is constant in my life. Nothing. That is how you start to live a divergent life. Nothing for me is constant, and that is okay. I'm constantly rotating through different systems for different times for me. So I just want to show you what I've already put in for January for myself. And this is really, truly about setting myself up for the month of January. I've gone in, and on the sidebar, there is a link to the Chani app. And you will get a I think it's a 20% discount if you use my thing. But I've already gone into my Chani app, and I've already gone to my this year's readings, and I've gone to my first, oh, where did it go? I don't want sleep stories. I've already gone to my January to March reading, and I've started listening to the reading, and I've started writing down some points that really hit home to me. And I've started to write things down. Start slowly, show the way with your actions. That is what is really important to me this month. Show my way with my actions, with what I'm actually doing. I don't want to say this is what I usually do. I want to show you what I'm actually doing to give you some evidence, but also to show you that you can use the system that I've created, but then shift it. I know Jen Camara posted a couple of the checklists that she had created from the system that I had shown her, so it works for her. And this is the piece that is incredibly important when it comes to the work in the shedding, is that you listen to every piece and you put aside the parts that don't work for you, and you pick up the pieces that do. Because time and time again, I will tell you, the thing that kept me stuck was going, I need to do exactly what this person is doing for me to receive results. And it's just not true. You don't have to do exactly what I do to receive the results that I have received. You are going to pick up pieces that work for you, and then you are going to incorporate them into your life and the systems that you have already created for yourself. Because you have created systems, you may not recognize them yet. We need to do the tracking to see where the system is. You have systems. You have them in your life. You have created things to support yourself. Now you have to see what they are. So I'm tracking this month my exercise, my water intake, and what I'm eating. But I also want to track my weed intake. So how much weed I'm smoking and when I'm smoking it. And I want to make a really conscious effort to track the strains I'm smoking and when they are more useful for me and when they don't really benefit me. Because this month, for me, the major piece is, what am I removing from my life that I no longer need? What are the things that have helped me get to this point, but I may be using them now as a way to just make life a little bit easier? And it may not be. It was like my glasses of wine when I was drinking wine. I really didn't need that much wine. I just needed the first 2 glasses. The 5 after were just, for shits and giggles. And they were really just harming my body. So starting to look at your life in a completely different way. Kelsey says, this is the major reason why I was instantly drawn to you and trust you. Nothing makes me trust someone more than when they are comfortable in uncertainty and the gray area. This is exactly it. That liminal place between knowing and not knowing is, if you can master this, if you can become comfortable in that space of learning and not being like, I need to have it mastered, and understanding that we are always learning, that we are in this kind of cycle of, ooh, yes, that did work. Oh, no, that didn't work. And what can we move forward to? Oh, thanks. Yeah, I saw this. It's a Old School Champion. I think they're the only sweaters I'm buying from now on. It's like the old school jogging material. And I even like that it's kind of like weathered and torn on the edges a little bit. It makes me feel so good. But thank you. I love the orange. It's making me super happy. And this is the other piece, is mood. What is my mood affected by? Right? Is my mood affected by, I was wearing color today? And you can even have like a little kind of symbol for dopamine dressing. How many times did I dopamine dress this month? Pretty much every single day. I know that because I'm conscious of it. I'm conscious of bringing more color into my life because it makes me happy. Literally. I look at this orange and I just go, woo, it makes me vibrate. It's a good thing. So allow yourself to bring color into your life to balance things. And we can use that color in our charts to make it fun. And that's why I have all of these amazing colors. So today I'm going to put I'm only doing the first 6 months because this is the other piece. Your system is going to change. Your tracking chart is going to change. It's why I give you ones with empty. So now I can take the sticker, and these are 4x6 stickers if you want to know what I'm using. They're the 4x6 stickers that I used to use, and it's so funny because even though I had this for the store, it's my thermal printer, I now use it for a lot of my tracking stuff. So if I want to track certain things, I create a little 4x6 sticker and I put it on there and I put it in my book. And I have even smaller stickers that are like business card size that I can stick all over the place. I create ones that have my student or my son's schedule on it and stick it in the front. I actually think I have one in here. Yeah, I do. So I have my kiddo's schedule. So I know it's 11:38. So he's on lunch right now. So I could message him and know that he's going to respond. Making little things like that, making these little reminders, and me actually, this is horrible, but oh yes, I have a son and he is at school. I'm going to freely admit that I'm a complete and utter disaster because of my brain. And I want you to be able to say out loud too that you are also a complete and utter disaster because of your brain. And it's okay. I was born with a disability that makes it hard for my brain to function in this society in which we live. And I am no longer going to feel bad for that. I don't function in a neurotypical system the way other people do. And when I acknowledge that and create my own systems that work for me, I am much happier. And just because you live in the neurotypical world doesn't mean that you're always going to fail. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be able to figure it out. It means we need to create these systems so we can live in flow, as close as possible to flow as we can. I know This is the thing that makes me sad. We are living in a system that does not support us. And the quicker that you can wrap your head around that we are actually being asked to do something that our brains don't actually have the capacity to do, and you go, don't force yourself to live in that system because it harms you. And then you create your own so you can feel good again about yourself. You can feel good again about your place in society. That is what the shedding does. And that is why I encourage you to do this work, because you are shedding the expectations of the society and people around you. And you are creating your own way of feeding your soul and creating a system so you can thrive in this world. But it takes time. You have to go slow. You have to do the research, which is you. We are literally researching ourselves so we can live a better life in this world. That is what we are here to do. So if you're new here, grab the chart. Oh, where did it go? The energy tracking chart. Oh my God, my brain. This is why I need this. So here we are in January. Ta-da! Grab this, and here's the thing. You can print it off big and fill a workbook like this. You can print it off on a sticker and do this. But I want to encourage you to look at your natural rhythms. Look at what your brain does, because once you start to see the pattern on a small scale and then on a big scale, and you can see the week where you can get everything done, and you can see the week where it's like, Emma, slow down, man, slow down. And then you can present that to yourself in a way to be a reminder of, this is the week where we focus on ourselves, we push everything to the edges, we drink our water, we smoke our joint, and we don't feel guilty that we're living a life that we need to live. I want to live the life that I need to live because I lived a life for everybody else forever. And I will tell you, I am so much happier living this life than I was living the old life. And you are so very welcome, Kelsey. And you know that this video was for you. And anybody else that is showing up, this video is for you. And I will tell you, you are always in the right place at the right time. You always have exactly what you need. And you are always wise enough to take it on and start healing yourself. You just have to get out of your own way. So start doing the tracking. I want to start seeing pictures of your charts and how you're presenting them. So I'm going to put up a hashtag or the chart. I'm going to post the chart at the top of the page. And I want you guys to start thinking about what is holding you back from living your best life. What prevents you from moving forward? Oh, we're out. What prevents you from feeling healthy? Why do you feel every single morning? And why do you continue to wake up and go, oh, it's another morning, it's shitty again. Oh, what? You're choosing that. You're choosing those words, you're choosing that life, you're choosing not to show up for yourself, you're choosing not to be present in your life because it's easier to ignore what's easy to fix. Okay,